Today our topic is role of value theory in developing the value-based management philosophy and managing the value. So let's discuss the value theory plus what is value and how we develop the value-based management philosophy in a business organization, and then how we manage this value to achieve the objective of value-based management. So, as I discussed, this presentation focuses on the development of value concept and the development of management of value through value-based management philosophy. So, how we in this presentation we will talk about the concept of the value, then how we develop management of these values through value-based management philosophy. So let's have a discussion about it. As we all know, the main economic purpose of a business organization is to create value for its owner or for its stakeholders. The value concept is a complex notion that has developed alongside human history and reflects the concern of human society through the time. As a result of value theory, the management of value has also emerged as essential and accompanying activity. So value-based management emerged as a management philosophy rather than a management method. So value theory has contributed in the development of the value-based management philosophy in the businesses, and it is not just a method of achieving the objective of a business, but it is a total philosophy of an organization or a business. So value theory in a value-based management philosophy, it consists of a change in mindsets from managing resources or output quantities to value creation. So not we are just creating more resources or output quantities, but we are creating the value. This is the basic philosophy of the value-based management philosophy. Is the challenge is to identify or create the value flows and act upon these within the specific business organization to have proper value management. Value creation and value management will define the business organizations in the economy of 21st century, which is governed by the knowledge and the information. So it is just the mindset we are creating, or a philosophy. As we know, philosophy is the set of idea or beliefs we have. So a business has a belief in creating the value for its all stakeholders, including the owners and also the customers and all the participant or all the partner involved in that business. So value creation and value management will be going to a defining a factor for the next century's businesses, which are governed by the knowledge and the information. So let's first of all define what the value is. So look at the different perspective, its history and the time, how the value was defined in a society. So value concept, just in introduction, since the very early beginning of human history, mankind has tried to define and understand the concept of value. Scholars, intellectuals, academics, philosophers and theorists have also tried to reason and comprehend the term value by understanding how objects attain their values. So during this time, different currents of thought have proposed various explanations to the concept of value. Explanations have not always pointed in the same directions. So similarly, and alongside the development of value concept, the management of value has had its fair share of involvement and gaining concerns. So it is, since the mankind has started thinking, it has giving the attention or explanation of the value, what is value, but there were different in the different directions that and they are not reaching to a particular definition of concept of value. So value concept has a history, like I said, I explained to you. It is like since the mankind started the in this world, they start thinking about the value concept. So value was one of the main concern from the early year stages of human society development. One of the first philosophers that developed a theory related to term value was Aristotle, who understood that value is driven by certain needs that creates the basis of exchange as one of the very early form of trade. So this was the definition which I underlined and highlighted, that the value is driven by the certain needs. So value depends upon the what needs we have, and then it creates the basis for exchange as one of the very early form of, like we used to barter system. What I need, I take it, what other people need, they take it, and then we exchange those things. That is basically barter system, the initial, the primary form of trade in this world. Aristotle's theory on value was not very thorough or sustained, being part of ethics and philosophy. So it was not a very detailed, because it and it was just it was a side of the theory of ethics, and it was the part of his philosophy. Then William Paddy's focuses on the search for the natural value. His theory is based on the assumption that the market price of any goods or services would fluctuate permanently around its natural value, that is based on the land, labor, or production factors. So the Aristotle was talking about the need based, and they said it is on the other side, it is the based on the land, labors, and the production. If we have the, these are the factor of the productions are determining the value of that particular things. You have study in this in economics as well. So then Richard came theory of the value identified by Patty's model, and concluded that the core values of any good should be centered on land only. So his was that it depend on the land, because the land was the main thing which was producing at that time goods. So if land is expensive or land is short, less, so value is becoming, the value of the things are coming more. Again, I will tell you that you have to learn more this in the economics subject. Continuing about the value concept history, the value theory continue to develop over time, with scholars such as Nicholas, who assimilated that natural value of goods for their market price. So, and then Fernando Giuliani is his history of value argued that the utility defined values. So it depends on the utility, needs, and market. So this concept of value start evolving. Then the famous economist Adam Smith published his groundbreaking work Wealth of Nation in 1776. In this, he adopted the value theory of Patty to take this as a step further. Adam Smith was one of the first to define that concept of objective instinctive value as the value contained in the goods and services. So what the value, he defined the value that the things, what goods or services contain or have. So Smith theory was adopted and developed in the late 18th century and early 19th century by David Ricardo and Karl Marx. David Ricardo investigated Smith's theory and argued that the value depend on the time requirement of the labor of the production. So then after land, it becomes the human being, more time a thing is taking to make it, and it is more valuable. So this was the concept of this David Ricardo in previous is 19th century. As we have seen that previous in the this definition of value keep evolving. Sometimes it depends on market, sometimes it depends on the factor of production, and sometimes it's depend on the humans, or sometimes it's depend on the needs of the people. So value is a category which can change only with the advance of knowledge, and which can be projected only on the dialectic emotional scale of the order of the importance. So more a thing more important for you have a more value. So but it's still changing the definition of the value. It was, and still it is, the constant state of development and refinement, has no universal definition, and will evolve and transfer alongside the development of the human society. So it keep evolving as the human society develop. The concept of value has been evolved as well. Before going to the value-based management philosophy and managing the how managing the value, so let's talk about the value as economic value. So economic value is one way of measuring value. In today's business term, value is often associated with the amount paid for certain goods, services, or resources. So this is the economic value, or economic side of the definition of a value. It is associated with the monetary worth or the usefulness of a commodity, or thus often referred as a economic value. Economic value is the expression of goods and services able to generate income, therefore able to facilitate an economic exchange process, which is measured relative to money by the ability or willingness of a buyer to spend a certain amount to benefit from the specific good or services. So this is another definition of value, which is more related to is monetary side, or is the ability or willingness of a buyer to pay for that particular service or goods or services. After discussing the concept of value, let's discuss the second part of the topic, which is value management through value-based management philosophy. So let's see what is value-based management is. The main and the fundamental purpose of any business organization is to create and ensure value of its owners. So like we have already discussed, that it is the fundamental purpose of any business to create value and ensure that they are creating value for its all the stakeholders, mainly its owner or its the partners. So value creation and assurance can be granted through proper and adequate management of business organization and its accessible assets and resources. So how we show that we are going to create value? By proper managing all the resources or the assets to its optimal level to get the value for that organization. The value management and the value based management is the driver for business organizations and their executive in the 21st century economy, which is based on information and knowledge, like we have already discussed. Value is generated by successful profitable organization, whereas economic value can be generated by goods and services that are available and used for business purposes. So we make the organization profitable by managing them very efficiently and effectively, and creating those goods or services which are more economic value. So value is therefore the primary I'm sorry the value is therefore the prime commodity of 21st century, which is obtained by efficient management of information and knowledge, the basis of value management. So like I already explained, it is the usage of our management skills, which are basically information and knowledge about doing the things or the process to for it, which become the basis of our value management. So value management is basically is the managing the value efficiently and effectively creating the value. Value-based management can best be only understood as a sum of value creation mindsets and the management process and the system needed to transfer the mindset into the action. So we can manage the value best if our philosophy of management is based on the value, which is it means creating the value. Taken alone, either element is insufficient. Taken together, they can have a huge and sustainable impact. So the value creation mindset implies that senior managers and the executive have a complete conscious understanding of fundamental purpose of business, that is value creation for the shareholders. Management process and system must be set up in a way that enables managers and employees to achieve maximum value for the organization. So we are converting our philosophy on in the ground and creating a process or system in a way which enables the managers and employees to achieve the maximum value. For this reason, the discipline of management is to do the research and to adopt and to implement all these methods and process and systems to achieve the maximum value for the organization. At the same time, incentives, compensation and motivation within the organization should be along with company strategies for ultimate purpose of value creation. So with the process or with the methods of the systems, we also create the strategies of how to give the incentives or compensation or motivation to our people who are working with it, and strategy create the strategy to ultimate the purpose was creating the values at an optimal level, more efficient and optimal level of the for the organization. Like we have already explained how to achieve this value-based management, it is by measuring the performance, setting targets. Managers' remunerations are closely linked to shareholders' wealth change rather than changing accounting income. Understand the new management concept by company requires solving educational and motivational challenges. A culture, basically it is a change of culture. When we are saying the philosophy is a set of belief and set of the things you do, and that is another definition of culture. So culture change is necessary to achieve the company's main goal, maximizing shareholder wealth. Rehabilitation and the change stop reward system is necessary for better implementation of new concept of value based management oriented to obtain long-term value. So these are the few things we do. We are changing, basically it is that we are achieving, we are managing the value of an organization through adopting a value based management philosophy in an organization. And these all things which I mentioned, we have to do that to change the mindset of the organization or the people. Here are the few of the most prominent value-based management tools are strict accounting practices and rule according to the law and regulations, no tampering, improve corporate governance, separation of analyst from other activities, other operational activities, more attention for businesses ethics and corporate social responsibility, rules for executive remunerations, protection of shareholder interest, attention to the stakeholders interest, and a long-term view toward value creation. So this is the basic few of the rules we have to do in every organization if we think that we are a value-based management philosophy, we are adopting a value-based management philosophy. As we know, value management and the resulting valuation or measurement of value have been central to the development of human society from its beginning. So value theory will continue to develop and to mirror the concern of human society through time. Uh, the resulting and the accompanying concept like value-based management or measurement of value will synchronize with the development alongside the value concept. Overall, value theory and its accompanying concept and activities like value-based management and measurement of value will become more and more complex with the time. The value concept will need to change in today's new economy, which is based on information and knowledge. Any change of value concept needs to reflect the latest hard facts of new economy and somehow reflect the subjective and objective value of information and the knowledge. So as we progress and we develop in a human society, the the way we are measuring the value or the way we are managing the value keep changing and it's becoming more and more complex. So it is very important that we will understand the concept of the value, how we manage the value optimally, and through having a value-based management philosophy. So this was our presentation today, in which we discussed the concept of value, it's how it evolved, what is the history, and still evolving, and then how we managing the value through adopting the philosophy of value-based management in an organization. So if you have any question, please let me know, so I will try my best to answer these all questions. I hope you understand my presentation. Still, if you have any question, let me know. Thank you.